Yoga for Farmers and Ranchers. My name is Alexis Bonagoski, and I am a yoga instructor up in Montana. And I hope that you've been able to either me for the last 3 yoga classes I've done on Sundays. And if you haven't, I highly encourage you to go back to those classes. This series is building off of each class, and so we're getting progressively more challenging as we go. And so if we do anything today that feels like it's just a little too much for you, I just encourage you to go back to those previous classes and do more of those exercises. So thank you for joining me, and we're going to get started. So I just want you to come to a comfortable seated position. You can be cross-legged on the floor like I am. You can sit on the edge of your couch or on the edge of a chair. So anywhere where you feel like you can sit comfortably and lift up out of your waist, and so that we're not slouched down and we're not overarching our back either. So just comfortably bring your hands to your knees in whatever seated position that you're in. All my dogs have decided they were all calm and now they're wanting to help out. So whatever seated position that you're in, just bring your hands to your knees, and we're just gonna lift up out of our waist here. Just close your eyes. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Just take a couple deep breaths, and remember that we want to fill up our lower belly so that we're not just chest breathing here at the very top of our lungs. We want to breathe into our lower belly and feeling the lower part of our lungs expand. Just shake out whatever you need to and give yourself permission for the next however long you can be with me to just exist in this moment. So we're going to start with some cat-cows in our seated position. So when you're ready, take a deep breath in through your nose. And on your exhale, round your spine back, dropping your head down, chin to chest, feeling your shoulder blades move away from each other. And then inhale as you lift your chest and roll your shoulders back. And so exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift your chest up, shoulders back. Then exhale, round. And then inhale, slowly come back to center. Your left hand out to the side, just on the floor. Inhale your right arm up, and exhale, side bend. So you might just press the floor away from you so that your opposite hip presses into the floor, and we're lifting up through the outside of our rib cage, keeping our shoulder open. And then slowly come back to your center. Bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee, right arm to the floor behind you. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and twist. Slowly come back to your center, bring your right hand out to the side, inhale your left arm up, exhale, side bend. So here we're laterally flexing our spine. We can push the floor away so that you drop your opposite hip down and you're lifting up through the side of your rib cage. Your shoulder stays back, it doesn't drop forward. Slowly coming back up to your center, bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee, left hand to the floor behind you. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and twist. Coming back to your center. So even if you're in a seated position on your couch or on an edge of a chair, you can still do our forward fold. So we're just gonna, if you're cross-legged like me, you're just gonna walk your hands forward, folding over your legs. And if you are in a seated position, you're just gonna allow your body to fold over your legs. And remember, we're focused on our breath, so you're inhaling all the way into your lower belly and exhaling all of the air out. Slowly come back to your center. Okay, we're gonna add to this. So we've done that about every class, that same sequence, because we are always want to move our spine in all the ways that it is able to move. So we do front, back, we flex laterally, and then we twist. And then we just did a really deep forward fold, and now we're gonna do a deeper back bend. So I'm gonna turn for you. So you're either still in your cross-legged position or you're on the edge of a chair or your couch. You're just gonna bring your hands behind you. So you're gonna grab onto the edge of your chair or the couch or place your hands on the floor. And I want you to think an upward dog. So that's when we lift our chest up and we arch our mid-back. And so I just want you to roll your shoulders back and away and lift up through your chest as much as you can. So you're using the strength that you're pressing down into the floor or the couch or the chair. And so some of you might want to just stay here and drop your head back. Some of you might want a deeper back bend, and you're just going to lift your hips up and come up onto your shins. You can't do this if you're if you're sitting on a chair, you're not going to be able to do this as much. And then slowly come out. Whew. Okay, so we've moved our spine in all the ways that we want to move it so far this morning. And now we're going to warm up our abdominal wall. And so I just want you to, I know this is everyone's favorite, right? But it's super important. So I want you to lay on the ground. And then we're just going to bring our knees into our chest. And you can grab onto each knee, or you can wrap your arms entirely around your legs. And you might rock around to the side or just stay in the center. All right, so notice the insides of our feet are touching. My toes are pointed. My knees are close, and my heels are as close to my glutes as I can get them. So we want to keep this position. We're going to just start warming up our arms. So I want you to release your arms up towards the ceiling and see if you can get your palms to face the ceiling. If not, that's okay. Just work on some wrist flexion here. And we're going to pull our knees in and see if we can tap our triceps to knees to triceps. And then you're going to extend your legs out in front of you. So you're pulling your knees in, tap, and then straighten your legs out. So you're just doing this at your own pace. And if your lower back is giving you any problems, we want to just extend our legs higher up. So you're not dropping your legs this low. You are bringing your knees in as close as you can, and then maybe you just extend up toward the ceiling so that your lower back can continue to press into the ground. The lower you drop your legs, the more you're going to arch your lower back. And so that might be a little too much. So it's up to you where your legs go. Also, we're trying to put our knees in as high up on our arms as we can. So over time, as your abdominal wall strengthens, eventually you might be able to maybe even tap your knees into your armpits. Whew, it's a lot. You guys are doing great. We're gonna do these a little bit longer today than we have been. So, you take breaks when you need to, at any point. Whew. And you can see how I'm lifting my hips up as my knees come in. The insides of my feet stay touching. My wrists stay flexed. All right, you guys, the last part, we're gonna do 10 taps to our triceps. So your knees come in, we're gonna tap 10 times. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Whew, that was a lot. Okay, release your feet down to your mat. And then all I want you to do is sway your knees side to side. So you dropped your feet, and now you're just pretending your legs are windshield wipers and you're just swaying your knees side to side. Okay, so we started warming up your six-pack abdominal muscles, your rectus abdominis. Now we're going to warm up our backside. So what I want you to do now is I want you to bring your heels touching and your toes to turn out. So you're making a V shape with your feet. So heels touch, toes out. So your knees are about as wide as your hips now. Your arms are by your side. And what we're gonna do here is you're gonna inhale and lift your hips up. So squeeze your butt. And then exhale, you're gonna close your knees. So hopefully you can squeeze enough that your knees come together. And then you open like a clamshell and then drop your hips down. So that's our movement. We're gonna inhale up, exhale, squeeze, inhale, open, exhale, and drop. Okay, at your own pace, this is what you're gonna work on. Now, I don't want you to give up if you feel like your knees aren't gonna touch. So it's almost like, it feels like you are squeezing something in between your knees, even though nothing's there. That's because of our foot position. So I want you to just bring your knees as close together as possible. And notice how you feel your inner thighs work as you do that. And again, if your lower back is giving you any problems, you're trying to go too high, possibly. So maybe just come up a little bit off your mat and then close your knees, open, and drop. So you can just come up like 1 inch and close and open. As we build up our core strength, your lower back is going to have more support from your other muscles. And so you'll be able to move into these exercises a little bit more. So the higher your hips go, the harder it is to squeeze your knees together. So we're warming up our glutes. We're warming up our adductors, your inner thighs. We're warming up our hamstrings, and then our deep back muscles and your transverse abdominis is stabilizing as you do this. And like I said, so in today's class, we're going to be doing things a little bit longer than we have been. So just depending on where you are at, you can do the entire thing with me, you can take breaks, and then join me when you're ready. Maybe once you get these classes down, you can put this to music, and so you can listen to some music while you're doing it instead of just my voice. Okay, so now you're gonna lift your hips up as high as you feel comfortable. So I don't want your lower back to hurt. So just lift your hips up, and then we're just gonna do little pulses for the last part. So you're gonna drop your hips like half an inch and then squeeze and lift. So drop, lift, drop, lift. So you're just releasing your glutes, squeezing your glutes. It's a lot. I'm already tired here for 3, 2, 1, and release. Bring your knees in to your chest. Stretch your lower back. All right, everyone, so now we're gonna continue with our abdominal wall. So we're gonna move more into the sides and our obliques. We did this one, I think, in lesson 2, and it's very challenging. So remember, you just do what you can. We're gonna take it just a little bit farther than we did last time. So what I want you to do is keep your right leg in to your chest and extend your left leg to the floor. Okay, so our hip flexors tend to be pretty weak, and we often mistake that for tightness, but our hip flexors are actually weak and sometimes tight. So this exercise works on our hip flexors as well as our abdominal wall. So flex your foot, so that's toes towards your shin, and then bring your other leg up to the ceiling. So you can see I'm in this position where my one knee's in, one leg is straight. Bring your hands behind your head. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start with our outside elbow, so your right elbow. Keeping your left elbow on the floor. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, bring your right elbow to the outside of your right knee, and then come back down. So exhale, tap, inhale down. Keep both feet flexed. Keep your left elbow on the floor. Protect your neck with your hands, so you're allowing some weight to come into your hands. And if you can't make the tap, that is totally okay. You're just getting as far as you can. All right, next time your right elbow comes down, you're gonna drop your left leg to the floor to a hover. And then as your leg comes up, you're gonna bring your elbow back to your knee. Now you're trying to keep your right knee from moving. You want it to, like, I know it's moving a little bit, but we're trying to keep our knee as still as possible. Remember, you're moving up on your exhale, down on your inhale. Okay, the last part to this is we hold our elbow to our knee, just your left leg goes up and down. For the last 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Just let it all out. I was holding my breath a little bit. If you're like, oh my God, Alexis, that was a lot, I encourage you to go back to some other classes so you can practice some exercises that will get you prepared for that one. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. So this time we're gonna bring our right knee in, left leg extends. Feet are flexed, so everyone forgets their feet. So we want to press through our heel and bring our toes towards our shins. Oh, I switched. Sorry, other way. I was wrong. We're bringing our left knee in, right leg up. Feet are flexed. Okay, so hands behind your head. Take a couple deep breaths. Get yourself ready. We're going to keep our right elbow on the floor. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, your left elbow taps the outside of your left knee, and then down. So exhale up, inhale down. Remember, you're just doing what you can where you are at. There's no expectations, no judgments. We're just moving our body. And sometimes it's hard, but it's really good. Okay, you guys, so now we're gonna add in our leg movement. So next time your elbow comes down, drop your leg to a hover. And then as your leg comes up, elbow to knee. And we want to move in control. So try not to move too fast so that you feel like you're not really getting the full possible range of motion. And remember, you're keeping your right knee in, or sorry, left knee in. All right, you guys, last part. Elbow holds to our knee, leg goes up and down. For the last 10 seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Oof. Just take a couple deep breaths. That was a lot. So for that exercise, what I love about it is that we're working our hip flexors. So we're strengthening our hip flexors. We are working on our obliques and our transverse abdominis. We're working on our coordination. And so it's a combination exercise that I think you get a lot from. And when you are doing this, if you do this at home by yourself, you can switch out which elbow comes up. So that time we did the outside. So we were doing outside to outside. You can also do the opposite elbow and come across your body, which is what we did, I think, in lesson 2. We came across our body. So you can alternate. You can just switch out elbow to knee. And we're going to do that next time, but not today. So remember that you can really adapt that exercise for all of the things you want to accomplish. Okay, now we're going to drop our feet back to the floor and we're going to do another exercise that works on our glutes, our deep back muscles, and of course, our abdominal wall. So feet are hip distance apart. We're going to lift our hips up. And remember, you go to the height that you feel comfortable with. We don't want our lower backs to hurt. These are bridge marches, which is really, really good for core stabilization. So arms by your side. You're going to shift your weight to one leg and then bring your other knee towards your chest. And then drop your foot to the floor and then bring your opposite knee in. So this is all about trying to be stable and in control. We're not in a hurry. So when you switch your weight to the other side, make sure that you are strong and you're not going to tip over. This is so good for you. If someone walked in and saw you doing this, they probably wouldn't think you were doing much work, but we know it's a lot. Remember, your hips don't have to be that high to get this exercise. And over time, your hips might start to drop like mine just did. And so see if you can, readjust. Maybe scoot your shoulder blades a little bit closer together. Okay, nice job. for 3, 2, 1, and release down. Again, knees to chest. All right, those of you that would like to get a little bit more stretch in your hips, we're just going to go into happy baby. So you can grab on to your feet, opening your legs, pulling down your feet so that your knees come a little bit closer to the floor. And then if you want to rock around, you can. All right, release your feet. Okay, now we're going to do one of my favorites. It makes my entire class groan when we do it. So we're gonna, we did this last time, and it's very important for your side glute. So the side glute that runs here, that we have a strong side glute for balancing, most importantly, and stabilization. So you're just gonna lay down on your side, bring your head to your hand. Your bottom leg is bent underneath you. Your top leg is straight and your foot is flexed. Your free hand can go to your hip or it can go to the floor in front of you to help you with the balance. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bend our knee towards our chest so that it's even with our hip. So try not to we're not trying to bring our knee close to our head and around. We're trying to keep our spine long, so we don't want to bring our knee close to our chest. We're trying to just keep our pelvis stable and our spine long. So you stop when it's even with your hip joint. You're gonna straighten your leg. Now that's hard for a lot of people to straighten your leg. So I just want you to see if you can straighten it by squeezing your quad and kicking through your heel. Flex your foot. Sweep your leg back to its starting position, and that's when your glute squeezes, so your glute maximus. So we bend our knee, kick your leg out, sweep it back. So we're gonna add to this as we go, but this is what I want you to get down right now. And a little massage for our hip joint. And we don't want our pelvis rocking front to back. I want you to try to keep everything stable. Okay, we've got this motion down. Now we're going to add to it if you want. This might be enough for you, and that is great. So you can continue to do this, or next time you bend your knee, stop here. Imagine your heel is anchored right where it's at, and then open your knee like a clamshell. And then close it, kick your leg out, pulse up and down. Sweep your leg back, pulse up and down. Bend your knee, anchor your heel, open your knee like a clamshell, close, kick, lift up, down, sweep back, up, down. Bend your knee, open it, close, kick, lift, drop, sweep back. All right, you guys, you got the sequence here. If I was going to rank the exercises that we do in this series, this would be in my top 5. Probably maybe my top 1 or my top, or number 2. if this is like extremely challenging for you, good. That means that this exercise is going to take you really far with your practice. So if you're sitting there and your side glute is on fire and you're having trouble and you're finding an edge, this is a really good thing. That means you should do this all the time. A couple times a week, 5 minutes at a time. I believe in you. All right, should we stop? I could do this for a long time. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's changed my body entirely and how I'm able to move. So, okay guys. We're gonna end with your leg straight, and we're gonna pulse up and down for the last 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, burning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. Okay, head in your hand. Bottom knee is bent underneath you. Top leg is straight. Foot is flexed. Hand can be down on the floor or on your hip. Okay, so we'll do these first couple nice and slow and together, and then you will continue on. So we're gonna bend our knee towards our chest. Knee is even with our hip joint, not towards our face. You're gonna straighten your leg, kicking through your heel. Sweep your leg back to its starting position. Pulse up. Oh, sorry, we're not pulsing yet. Back to the starting position. Now bend your knee. Kick out through your heel. Sweep your leg back. Bend your knee. Kick your leg out. Sweep it back. All right, you guys know it, so I'll just let you concentrate. All right, you guys know we're gonna add to this. So here's where the edge comes. So next time you bend your knee, anchor your heel in the air, exactly where it's at. And then open your knee like a clamshell. So external rotation in your hip. Close your knee, straighten your leg, pulse up, down. Sweep your leg back, pulse up, down. Bend your knee, anchor your heel, open like a clamshell, close. Kick your leg out, pulse up, down. Sweep your heel back, pulse up, down. Bend your knee, anchor your heel, clamshell open, hold it even for longer. Close, kick, up, down. Sweep your leg back, pulse up, down. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Not in a hurry, ever. Oof, okay. Did you hit that part where it's hard to continue? Just see if you can do a little bit more. Always working to find our edge and see where we have room to get stronger. That motion right there, you guys, the opening here, super important. So maybe you just do that a couple times. Okay, I think we're getting close. So when you're ready, your legs straight and then pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, burning, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, slowly sit up. Be gentle with yourself. Your side glutes are probably yelling at you right now. So we're gonna just give them a little bit of a stretch. So feet together, let your knees open up wide. Right now, for me, this is enough. Like I'm getting quite a stretch and I don't feel like bringing my arms down. But if you want to, you can grab onto your feet and bend your elbows, bring your upper body down, or walk your hands forward. Whatever feels right for you. Okay. I'm gonna slowly come out. So we're gonna keep our right knee bent like it is, and then just bring our left leg out in front of us. Now this is another one that's gonna work on our hip mobility, flexibility, and strength. And we're only gonna do a couple on each side because this is new for this series, and it's very challenging for our brain, and so we're just gonna do a little bit of work to prep our nervous system for next time. So your left leg is out, your right leg is in. Your right leg can also be straight. If that's comfortable to have both of your legs straight, you can do that, or you can bend one in. So you're just gonna bring your arms behind you. We're not gonna try to fall way back. This is just to give us a little bit of foundation, and so that we're not like falling backwards. Okay, we're gonna hover our left leg. So your quad is already engaged here, holding your leg up. And then we're gonna bring our knee towards our chest as tight as we can. You're gonna open, just like we were doing on our side, but now we're sitting. And you can stay right here, or you're gonna straighten your leg. So much. And then bend your knee. Then we're adducting, so we're bringing our knee back to the center with our inner thigh, and then straightening our leg. I'm gonna do that 2 more times. So bring your knee in, abduct, open, kick, bend your knee. That's a lot of work. Adduct, close, and straighten. One more time, knee in, open, kick, bend your knee, back to center, straighten, and pulse up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. You might want to rub out your quad there. As your hip flexors strengthen, you will feel these sorts of exercises less in your quad. But when you're first starting to do this, you're going to mostly feel it in the front of your thigh. So just remember that. It'll change over time as you get stronger. Okay, we're going to switch sides. So you can bring your left leg in, or you can keep it straight, whatever works best for you. Hands behind you. Okay, we're going to hover our right leg. Slight internal rotation in your hip to start. Bring your knee in as close to your chest as you can. Open out to the side. You can stay here, or kick your leg out. Squeeze. Bend your knee back. Close, so inner thigh. Straighten your leg to a hover. Okay, 2 more times. Knee comes in. Open. Kick. Bend your knee. Close. Straighten your leg. Okay, last time. Bring your knee in as tight as you can. Open your knee. Kick your leg. Bend your knee. Close. Straighten. Pulse with a straight leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Oof. Maybe rub the tops of your thighs and your hip flexors out here. Okay, our groundwork is done. Now we're going to stand up and do some integrated core exercises. So when you're ready, just make your way to a standing position. All right, everyone, so finding a comfortable standing position, finding mountain pose, so just standing nice and tall, squeeze the backs of your thighs, your glutes a little bit so that you're not sticking your butt out. We want to squeeze our glutes a little bit so that we can help support our lower back. Palms face the front, drop your shoulders down and back. Just take a couple deep breaths here. So inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Next time you inhale, just bring your arms up all the way. And then on your exhale, palms touch, fold over with a flat back. Little bend in your knees. So sometimes doing a full forward fold just isn't in the cards for us for whatever reason. It doesn't feel great for our body, or we're just not at the point where we can do that. And so if that is you, you're just going to stay in a halfway lift. So your hands can be to your thighs, your shins, wherever is comfortable, and just work on lifting your hips up so that you're feeling a stretch through the back of your legs. Those of you that want to go further, you can separate your feet as wide as you would like. I like to start with a pretty deep bend in my knees and then, kind of shake it out. Just let your head relax. Try not to lift up the back of your head. So a lot of people kind of hold their head up. If you're able to kind of let the back of your neck relax. You can drape your arms down. Move your head and neck around if that feels okay to you. And then option to grab on the opposite elbows and sway your upper body side to side. All right, coming back to your center. Maybe bring your feet a little bit closer together. You're going to inhale up to a halfway lift. Some of you might already be here. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, arms up. Optional back bend. So squeeze your glutes a little bit, push your hips forward, look back, lift up through your chest. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Optional back bend. Exhale, forward fold. All right, everyone, we're gonna plant our hands on the ground. We're gonna step back into a downward dog. Now, this might not be available to some of us, so that's okay. You can skip this if it's too much for your shoulders, wrists, or anything else. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you'd like to, and then just see if you can start lengthening through the back of your legs. Maybe pressing your heels down, swaying side to side, whatever feels best for you. Okay, so from here, we're gonna just get a little mobility moving in our downward dog. And what we're gonna do is you're just gonna drop your hips back to your heels and then stand up a little bit. So your legs might not straighten, that's okay. So we're just gonna bend our knees, hips to our heels, and then downward dog. All right. Then just walk your hands back to your feet, forward fold, and inhale all the way up. Hands to your heart. Okay, now we're in our integrated core, so we're going to add in some balancing here to challenge our core muscles to work together. So when I talk about core, I'm not just talking about your abdominal wall. I'm talking about our glutes, inner thighs, hip flexors, our abdominal wall, deep back muscles. So more thinking here in this area to help protect the vertebrae in our lower back. So when a functional core in some ways is more important than just individual muscle strength. So these muscles being able to work together is more important than actually how strong my individual, like I might have really strong hip flexors, but if I can't make that work with my glutes and my inner thighs, then they're not going to help me out very much. So this kind of helps our nervous system start to recruit our core muscles to work together. So we add in some balance here. So we're going to start in a chair pose, and you guys have done this one with me the last couple times, and I think it's a really great sequence because we can just build off of it and we can do different things all the time. So we'll start in our chair pose, hands to your heart, and I'm just going to be turning so you can see different ways, different angles of this. So first thing we're going to do is you're going to lift your left heel off the mat. And so your left toes are still touching the floor, but your heel is lifted pretty high. So you're just dropping your hips down, hands to your heart. You can stay right here, or you can take a deep breath in and exhale and twist to your left. So left elbow anchors on the outside, right elbow anchors on the outside of your left knee. Okay, I'm going to come back to your center. Your heel is still lifted. Now we're going to bring our left knee towards our chest. So nothing has changed with your upper body. We're still in a chair. It's like a one-legged chair. But we're using our hip flexors to bring our left knee towards our chest. Now I want you to see if you can straighten your left leg towards in front of you. And then point your toes and then sweep your left leg out to the side. So side glute is now engaged. drop your toes to the floor and then lift. So here's your motion, down and up. Your right leg is still bent. Okay, now lift your leg up and sweep your leg back. So now your glute maximus, toes are pointed, we want our legs straight. Don't let your leg hang like a limp noodle, right? Like we want and strong and all of our muscles engaged. Okay, so from here, carefully, slowly float your toes to the floor. And then we're going to end up in a high lunge position. So notice how high my back heel is. A lot of times people press their heel back. I want you to see if you can come up on your toes higher and that you can lift your heel. Your front leg, you know, it can be a little bent, it can be deeply bent, whatever. Wherever you're at, that's okay. So back leg is super strong. You can stay right here, or you can begin to bend your back leg towards the floor. Feeling a stretch through the front of your thigh, and then straighten. And do that 3 times. Bend your knee, straighten, bend your knee, and straighten. Okay, bump your back foot in about a step. Okay, so most of the weight is in your front leg here. We're going to try to keep that. So shift your weight forward and see if you can lift your back leg up. We're going to do this 3 times. So you're going to float your back foot down, but keep your weight forward, and then lift your back leg up. So that was 2. Now float your back toes down, weight shifts forward, leg comes up. Woof. Okay, you guys, you can stay here or bring your back knee to the back of your left calf muscle for 3, 2, 1. Left foot meets your right, chair pose. All right, stand up, shake it up. It's really easy to hold your breath. I was holding my breath, I can feel it. So if you get done with a sequence like that and you just let out a whoosh of air, most likely you're holding air in your lungs, and I was doing that just now. The hardest thing, I swear, is remembering to breathe. Like, even though I've been practicing some form of yoga and this for a long time, I breathe all the time. So in some ways that is the core of this practice, is remembering to be present in your body. And being present in your body means that you are present with your breath. And man, it is so easy to forget. And so if you are able to do it for even just like 20 seconds or 10 seconds, that is a victory. And hopefully over time, we're able to extend those periods of time where we're connected. And that's what we're practicing, is we're practicing how to be connected to this moment. Okay, we're gonna switch. So I'm gonna just turn around here. My left or my right glute is on fire and exhausted. So we're gonna do that to the other side. So when you're ready, just come into your chair pose. Okay, we're gonna lift our left heel up. No, wait, our right heel up. Okay. So we're in our chair pose. Right heel is lifted. I'm gonna take a deep breath in. On our exhale, you're gonna twist. You have to do this if this is just like, oh, that's too much twisting. You just stay in your chair pose. Coming back to your center. Going to shift all of your weight over to your left leg. You're going to bring your right knee toward your chest. Your right foot is flexed. Standing leg is still bent as much as you can. Okay, we're going to do our best and see if we can straighten our leg, keeping our knee as high as we're able. So it might be down here. That's okay. Wherever you're at is fine. Straighten our leg, squeezing the front of our quads, flexing our foot, keeping our standing leg bent. Remember your breathing. Point your right toes and sweep your leg out to the side. So now you're engaging your side glute, so right here. Your leg is straight, your toes are pointed. Standing leg is bent. Okay, now if you're feeling stable, you're going to tap your toe to the floor and then come back up. So tapping down and coming back up. Okay. Now, so if those of you that can, release your right hand and just place your right hand on your butt, and I want you to feel what happens. So your side glute's engaged, and then you bring it back, and now your glute maximus, so the biggest glute muscle is engaged. So it switches, and just noticing that is important. Okay, so from here, we're gonna see if we can float our back leg down. I have to scoot up a little bit here, so. Okay, so notice my back leg. I'm pressing the back of my knee up towards the ceiling, squeezing my glute. My heel is lifted. Sometimes in my classes, I see people, like put their heel down. I want you to see if you can lift it higher. And your front leg is what's, holding a lot of the stress now. We're going to try to keep it that way because we want to really work our front leg. So you can stay right here or begin to bend your back knee towards the floor and then straighten it. We're going to just do that about 3 times. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Okay. Now for the really hard part, we're going to bump our back foot in just a step. So now your your left glute is on fire. Like it should be maybe shaking, wobbly, burning, all the good things. So we're going to try to shift our weight forward and lift our back leg up. You're going to do this 3 times. So that's 1. Okay, float your toes down, but keep your weight forward. 2. Okay, fire. And 3. Okay, you can stay here or bring your back knee to your calf muscle and then straighten. Knees meet, feet meet. Oh my gosh, I can barely make that last part. My left leg is shaking. Holding here for 3, 2, 1, and release. Whoa. Okay, shake out what you need to and notice which side was harder because we all have imbalances in our body. And the first step in helping to correct those imbalances is just noticing. My right side is stronger than my left, and so I notice that I just get more tired more quickly on my left side, and so I try to work on that a little bit more. Just spend a little bit longer on that side. All right, you guys, so that was great. Standing leg stability here. I hope you feel your glutes and just much effort they were putting into what you were doing with the standing leg. And then just notice how it might improve your balance over time to really focus on the single leg stability. Okay, so we're gonna do one more balancing. I heard some feedback from some people that this one was really good for them, and I think, and the way they said it was that it was something they could do. And so I just want to like remind you all that this isn't about can or can't. Like, you might, I don't want you to get frustrated because you might start something and be like, I just am not able to do that. And I know that that's a thought that we have, or we get frustrated when we fall out of a balancing pose. And I just want you to try to reframe that in your mind, is when you feel like you get to a point where something's hard or you just feel like you hit an edge, that is a really good thing, because you found something where that if you put in some time, you can grow and get stronger. And so I always say to my students, my yoga students, is that when you find frustration, that's a good thing, and that means that your nervous system is being challenged. So just try to reframe any negative feelings you might have about where you're at in your practice. So we'll just end here with a final balancing. I'm going to actually stand off my mat because it's too makes me too wobbly. All right, so we're going to shift our weight to our left leg and just bring your hands to your heart and lift your right knee up. So I'm going to just turn so you can see. So we've got about a 90-degree angle from our shin and our thigh. So try to keep your heel underneath your knee. Whoop. Okay, we're going to inhale our arms up. Exhale, bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. And then if you feel like twisting, bring your right arm behind you. Those of you that want to challenge your balance, release your knee, and then just one arm. Okay. And slowly come up. Feet meet. Okay, switch sides. Shift your weight to your right leg. Bring your left knee up, left foot flexed. You can stay here or inhale both arms up. Exhale, right hand to the outside of your left knee. You can stay here or stretch your left arm behind you. And those of you that want to challenge your balance a little bit and engage your abdominal wall a little bit more, just release your arm. So we're finding that twist, hip flexion, side glute, balancing, all the good things. All right, hands to your heart. Feet meet. Oh man, that hour goes fast, doesn't it? I feel like I just get started and then the hour's over. So thank you guys so much for practicing with me and just taking the time for yourself and prioritizing your health, because it's extremely important that we take time to move our bodies and to teach our bodies and to train our bodies so that we're healthy as we age. Oftentimes we don't notice our body until something is wrong with it, until something's hurting. And that's when we get kind of motivated to do something. And so spending time being in your body and just noticing how we move and our breath and, you know, doing little tiny movements that challenge our nervous system to, create new paths and new neural pathways. It's really, really important stuff so that we're able to notice our body when it's not in pain, and hopefully that we can prevent some of those chronic happen to us as we age, especially with our lower back. So your lower back needs strong glutes, strong hip flexors, strong inner thighs, strong abdominal wall to help protect it. And if those vertebrae don't have the help of all of these muscles around our pelvis, then our lower back ends up being, and obviously there's lower back injuries that do happen. So these exercises that we do is to build those muscles up and to make them figure out how to work together so that we can prevent lower back issues and be more mobile and flexible and strong in our life. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. I am, and the next class will build off what we did the last 4 classes. So remember to go back and revisit those if you feel like you need a little bit more explanation on anything. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great Sunday or whatever day you're catching this class, and I will see you next week.